squeeze me tight. Now when the night begins.
Peter Green's protege Danny Kirwan joined as third guitarist, and the band began their journey from being a blues outfit to chart toppers.
In the early days, within a certain context, it's definitely a blues band. Then he started writing, then things like Manalishi came up, and Oh Well. Like, wow.
About the shape I'm in, I can't sing, I ain't pretty, and my legs are thin. But don't ask me what I think of you, I might not give the answer that you want me to.
In 1969, Fleetwood Mac sold more records than the Beatles and the Stones put together. And ironically, all those songs were Peter Green songs. I mean, people nowadays, they think of Fleetwood Mac as Rumours and you know, maybe some of the albums that followed that. But what they have to realise is that the name Fleetwood Mac was actually launched by Peter Green's talent.
Now, when I talked to God, I knew he'd understand. He said, stick by me and I'll be your guiding hand. But don't ask me what I think of you, I might not give the answer that you want me to.
I loved him. I adored him. You know, say it quite openly. It's just like we would sleep together, you know. And it was a brother. When it was cold, we would curl up in bed together and keep warm. You know, nothing sexual or anything. Don't get me wrong, but it was that close.
Peter Green was the musical driving force of the band, but as they became more successful, he became more uneasy.
He got terrified of the success and just thought, this is not, it's like, now I'm here, it's like, so what? He was very cruel to himself.
I guess I've got everything I need. I wouldn't ask for, and there's no one I'd rather be. But I just wish I'd never been born.
You know, Jack the Lad, you know, it's wonderful. Until Munich.
What happened there?
That's when Peter got spiked.
Probably only Peter Green knows exactly what happened in Munich, but band members and friends are all agreed that after this encounter with acid, he was never the same again.
The night is so black that the darkness cooks. Come creeping around, making me do things I don't want to do.
It's not just Pete, but I mean other people that have been spiked, especially with acid, and not knowing what it is. I mean, it can turn the whole world upside down. And maybe he never really recovered from that. It certainly screwed things up.
There was talk of, if we give all the money away we make, then maybe we can do this, and certainly myself, John was sort of halfway interested in doing that.
I went with it. Yeah, Pete, you're right. Yeah. And Mick was firmly anchored in reality. He said, John,
Peter wanted to give to charity the money earned from hits such as Albatross. He was beginning to distance himself from the rest of the band.
We did a tour of Scandinavia, and he came up the back of the bus and he said to me, "I want to have a chat with you." And I said, "What about?" He said, "I want to leave the band." And I said, "Why?" And he said, "They're not really cutting it, it's the truth."
He felt he couldn't go any further. Maybe, who knows, with the band's playing abilities, I'd suspect there was some of that. But it was a spiritual thing as well. He was terribly tormented.
It was like taking the underpinnings out of a bridge. We were quite happily going along, turning this out, you know. Anything we played was great. It's a great band. And then suddenly, the legs went out, and you went, whoops. And you were faced with a future without Peter.
We were shaky, and that's when I came up with the plan that we'd all live in this house called Kiln House, which was a converted oast house we rented. And that saved Fleetwood Mac, I think, from disintegrating.
That sounds like a good idea, so we went there and we smoked dope for about a year and tried to do an album. We had to go on the road, and we realized that we didn't have enough strength in the band. And Christine, who I was married to at that time, she was there as the dutiful wife.
Christine McVie had had success in several bands prior to this, but now decided to join her husband in Fleetwood Mac.
We just went, "Would you come and do the tour with us?" And she said, "Yeah, I'd love to." And that was the beginning of her excursion.
The band left for the American tour. It was to be a fateful trip for guitarist Jeremy Spencer.
That was instigated by drugs. We were in San Francisco and we had been on mescaline. Thought we were American Indians or something there for a while.
We came down on a flight from San Francisco to LA, and it was the same day the big earthquake hit in Saugus. In fact, it happened while we were in the air. And I'm sitting next to Jeremy, and Jeremy's by the window. And he said, "Why am I doing this?"
I got one photograph that I took, which turned out to be the last picture of Jeremy in Fleetwood Mac, was getting out of the back of one of those jets when you come down the back through the tail.
We shared a room at, I think it was the Hollywood Hawaiian or somewhere in that area. It's one, the rooms with a little kitchen in it. You had to go out and get your own food. So I'm just going to go out and get some groceries.
Never came back. They picked him off the street. Gone.
A few days later, it transpired that he'd turned up with the Children of God. And I went down to their headquarters. It was quite a frightening situation. I had to go in alone. Anyway, after about 2 hours of negotiating, he just walked out. He'd had his hair shaven, he'd changed his name. And I said, "Are you here of your own free will?" And he said, "Yeah." He said, "I feel at home here, Clifford."
In search of a new guitarist, Fleetwood Mac turned to American Bob Welch. His band, Head West, had broken up and he was down on his luck, living in Paris.
And I said, "I'll be there in 2 seconds. Could you send me plane fare?"
Bob flew to England to meet the band at their country retreat.